Hi everyone, Nathaniel Gavronsky here. I am in Mahaska County, Iowa. Mahaska County gets its name from Chief Mahaska of the Iowa Indians. Chief Mahaska was born in 1784 near what is now Burlington, Iowa, and was killed by another Indian in what is now Cass County, Iowa in 1834. The first white settlers came through this area in 1835, led by Nathan Boone, who was the youngest of the Daniel Boone's children of the famous, frontiersman. Mahaska County was organized in February of 1843 and was overseen by William Edmundson, who was the county sheriff. It was appointed by the territorial legislature. The original county courthouse was right over here, the corners of High Avenue and Market Street. The building was built in the winters of 1844 to 1845, but due to shoddy construction was discontinued as courthouse in 1855, where the county rented buildings until a bond issue in 1881 led to the beginnings of the building you see behind me. Behind me is the current Mahaska County Courthouse, and construction started in 1883, but wasn't completed until 1886, where its designation took place on February 27th, 1886. At that designation, the keynote speaker was a guy by the name of John F. Lacey. John F. Lacey was a popular, well-known lawyer and state legislator, and would later become a U.S. congressman. Interesting fact about that is that he would be the congressman with Teddy Roosevelt that founded the national park system. So it's no surprise to me that when Teddy Roosevelt came to run for his second go at the White House in 1912 with the Bull Moose Party, that he came to the Oskaloosa Square to do his rallies, no doubtly supported and welcomed by Congressman John Lacey. The square here was plotted out in 1844 when the town was founded. The town was initially known as the Narrows and was a trading post that moved from the Des Moines River to this area. The term Oskaloosa comes from Oskaloosa, who was a Creek princess whose name means black rain or black water. So it's odd that the county is known as Mahaska as White Cloud. From White Cloud we get black rain. So White Cloud is also a name of a city in Kansas, and it gets its name from the same person, just FYI. A couple of famous things about the county in Oskaloosa is that there are two houses here found that were designed by Franklin Lloyd Wright, and there's a really important court case in Iowa that starts here in Mahaska County, which was from John Katko and Edward Brinery. The case starts out with John Katko was trying to break into Brinery's abandoned house on his land to sell some antiques. Well, Brinery, knowing that people were breaking into his house, set up spring traps. One of them was a shotgun, and when Katko entered into one of the bedrooms into the house, the shotgun went off, shooting him in the legs, causing serious injury. The court case started here in Mahaska County and went to the Iowa Supreme Court on February 9th, 1971. It was decided that Brinery was actually at fault and was liable for damages and had to pay up to $30,000 in damages to John Katko, who was robbing him, by the way. The case comes down to the couple of facts. Is that human life is more valuable than inanimate objects or property. So even though Brinery would have had the right to protect his own life and the life of his wife in case of an intruder, he did not have the right to injure someone or maim someone or possibly kill someone in the participation in trying to protect his property. Oddly enough, in today's law, if you were in a self-defense situation and you had to injure someone who was trying to assault you, if you would happen to shoot them but didn't kill them, but just maim them, they could sue you in court and win. So that's just interesting, because later on, when Brinery was asked what he would do differently, the only thing his response was he would have aimed a shotgun a couple of feet higher, and he probably would have been held not liable in any case because no one would have sued him initially. Just an interesting thing about law. Oskaloosa and Mahaska County were the #1 producers of coal in the early 20th century. Tons and tons and tons through the railroads came through here. So that was its main cash crop, was coal. Oskaloosa I think is actually a really nice town. The city square here actually has speakers that play around the gazebo in the city square, and a lot of the buildings have been redone or been maintained, so a lot of the square is still here, which I like. So this is kind of cool. I mean, I'm not in Oskaloosa all that much, but it's pretty neat. Another interesting thing, on the courthouse, see this white facade here? There was originally a gabled, like, roofed porch that went over it, but they tried to modify it and modernize the building, and that's now actually incorporated into a private house here in Oskaloosa. Another really interesting thing, in 1913, the Grand Army of the Republic, which Iowa had a huge amount of participants in, came here for a big celebration. So we're talking veterans from not only the Army regiments of the American Civil War, but all the neighboring Union forces came here. And if you've seen my other videos about courthouses, you'll see that there's a lot of monuments to veterans in Iowa city squares. And here in Oskaloosa, there's no different. This one is a little bit newer. This one was laid in 1920. And incorporates not only the U.S. Civil War, but also the Spanish-American War and World War I. And this is here. It's one of the few I've seen that dedicates more than just the U.S. Civil War. So that's something that's different about Oskaloosa, is that their war monument goes over many different conflicts for their county dead. But Oskaloosa does have a lot of old buildings. They have maintained a lot of it. Mahaska County is one of the wealthier counties in the state, and has maintained a strong population base. Its entire existence, even as coal mines were drying up, other commerce came in, and they were able to maintain a very, very strong economy in Oskaloosa. So that's primarily the gist of Mahaska County and Oskaloosa. Really interesting place. I suggest you come check it out. Until next time, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay wise. And as always, stay classy, Iowa.